Please, if you choose to believe it, add spice, add sugar, add flour, add whatever you want to add to it, but don't share it to Kwanele Foundation. Don't share it to SIHLE SIBISI. We're not about negativity right now. We are about celebrating all those who are victims, who have survived the ordeals that they come from. Anything else matters not. And if you think negative comments, negative videos, or negative creative stories around me will cripple me and hurt me, you must think twice, because I have been through worse in my life and I've survived worse in my life, and thank God I'm still standing. The fact that I'm standing, that shows indeed that there is a God. Yes, we might have been introduced to the wrong type of God. Yes, we might have been introduced to the wrong type of God. We might have not known what we were taken into, but the fact that we are still standing, it means there's a God out there. So for those who are sharing love, thank you. For those who are sharing hatred, thank you also. Because trust me, the hatred you are sharing, the negativity you're writing, the insults you're writing, they are fueling some of us to know that indeed we have shaken some people, you know. So for me, it's one of those things. One thing people must know is that once upon a time, there was somebody who decided that they were going to expose charlatans. This was 3 years ago, 2020. And they went publicly exposing charlatans, saying this charlatan is this charlatan is that, this charlatan is this. And everybody believed that person. And people like me went to that person to say, hey, even me during COVID, I've been facing myself, and I want to talk about my experiences with the so-called men of God that I've come across. And I went to the Charlatans podcast and I spoke. Lo and behold, the very person that was saying he's exposing charlatans, a year later went back to the very so-called charlatans, according to him, that he was exposing, and he repented to them. And he said he's sorry, and even kneeled before their altars to make peace. As a result, that person is no longer in South Africa. That person is full-time back in his home country, because he can't come back to South Africa because he's got his own cases with his exes, fraud cases and stuff. So the relevance of that person has been dwindled. And so to get relevance and to be remembered again that he exists, definitely, because the so-called charlatans that he was once exposing, he now repented to them. And now that he's repented to them, now that these charlatans are also now standing behind the late TB Joshua, he now is being paid to discredit South Africans, not only South Africans, and Nigerians who are on the BBC documentary. I'm being discredited. Bisola's name came up. Other people's names came up, that we're going to be discredited, and we should brace ourselves. And it's so amazing that, wow, guys, phone hacking is real. And you see messages and it's like, it's from you wrote this, you said this, and you sit back and you say, guys, buy popcorns, watch the movie, because the modus operandi of this person who used to say he is exposing charlatans, right now he's back in his hometown. I'm sure hunger is hitting him, so he needs to be paid. So the only way for him to be paid is to go back into archives and speak things that we don't know. I saw that somebody showed me to say, he's he's showing stories of me that apparently one day I stayed in a hotel and I paid with a check in 2021 and I never came back. I'm thinking, guys, really, 2021, pay with a check. And then after that, he's now showing messages allegedly from me to him and pictures, and that me, I wanted to do 2 or 4 or 6 or 12 Psalms. And I'm like, yo, guys, yazin. It is well, it is well. Others are saying, but Sihle, why are you always on the front line on stories? Why Mara? Mamelani, guys, uSihle Sibisi is a child that at the age of 16, she was given to a pastor in South Africa, Philip Banda, Impact for Christ Ministries. And Sihle Sibisi was groomed in that church. And subsequently, Sihle Sibisi was in Nigeria. And subsequently, she experienced further trauma. So before you come at me, before you want to say Sihle Sibisi, you are a prostitute, or why are you always in the forefront? Put yourself in Sihle Sibisi's shoes for a second to say, if you were a 16-year-old and you were given to the church and you were groomed in the church, then you found yourself in Nigeria and the modus operandi was at a higher level, and then you came back to your country, but you were still attached to these men of God, would you be 1000% okay, 1000% normal? Because instead of me being vindictive and hating, that is why Kwanele Mfundisi